Hi everyone, welcome to Trading in Zone. So, I think everywhere, all over the place, we are trying to hear the same news, exit polls, and BJP gonna come in full majority, and the markets gonna fly through, and stories as such in the market, and one of the most important things which people would have probably seen is that on Thursday and Friday, market kind of already gave a hint in terms of moving up and moving up significantly, right? So we saw that market was getting into a direction, market was trying to move up, and even on closing, it gave a significant 50-60 point move, which was very clearly evident that something like this is definitely going to be announced. So it's pretty surprising to see how it impacts in terms of we have always been reading news, and we have always been thinking about how price precedes news, and the price really moves much before the true news comes out in the market. So there it is, expected full majority. Every single exit poll can't go wrong. As per me, so many exit polls, and all exit polls pointing towards a full majority of BJP and Modi kind of coming back into the picture for 2019 is really a great story. I think personally, according to me, from a growth perspective, and from having a good leadership perspective for the country, I think it's a great thing. Yeah, while there are skeptics and while there are people who will probably think otherwise, while we might not support every single decision which is being taken, and every single decision might not be good for everyone, right? Because there might be certain decisions which might be taken by an individual, which might not sound really great for everyone, and people might have their own personal preferences, which is absolutely fine. So for me, from my point of view, I always saw that this is definitely going to make a big difference to the stock market. I don't see any wild swings which are going to happen. If the news is so precise, the market is just going to be single directioned. We might look at some support resistance points from a Nifty futures perspective or Nifty index perspective, in terms of if there are any retraces which come into play, where would be an appropriate level to buy and an appropriate level to sell, would be a point of question. But apart from that, this is going to be a one-way highway. So welcome to Trading in Zones once again. So here's our weekly street talk, and we are gonna look at what's in store this week. All right, so let me quickly have a look at my laptop. Obviously, Larsen and Turbo kind of released its result. We saw some huge fluctuations which came through, but I'm sure that it is a very strong stock fundamentally, and given the kind of order book what they've been growing, the new businesses which has been really flourishing, it is something which you can definitely look at. I think over a period of next couple of quarters, you might probably see Larsen and Turbo, way above 1600. I mean, in terms of how the valuation currently is, in terms of how the prices which are currently in, I'm sure that this is a significant mover in the coming future. So I would suggest buy on dips. It's a big stock, so any kind of correction can be used as a buy. And given their current order book, the way they're growing their revenue and they're growing their profits, it is very, very significant, and that's definitely a buy. Next thing which I can see on my screen, which is obviously coming, is Kotak Mahindra. I think I've been giving quite a few calls on Kotak, and in fact, I've been watching this stock from almost 1300 levels, and Kotak Mahindra Bank has been significantly moving up. The way it's moving is very strong, and it is very convincing moves. In a falling market, we have seen Kotak moving up, 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 and up. So it becomes a very good, significant stock to watch. I would definitely want this stock to buy because I'm seeing a very strong future for this company as well. The way it is going, you never know. Maybe in about a year and a half, this might be a stock which is worth around 2000 or maybe 1800, 1900. I'm really not sure, but I definitely see a 20% up move, which is for sure can be factored in. If the market booms, this is definitely one of the stock which you might want to keep on radar. And apart from that, obviously I've been talking about Jubilee Food also, the results came out. Some down move might happen. I'm expecting some amount of movement which might be in the opposite direction as well, because this is a very strong stock, and the future being junk food, you can't help but think of stocks like Jubilee Food, which are only going to make new highs. Quite a few broker houses have kind of downgraded, or they've given a hold. They were talking about 1900 for the stock a few quarters back. They're kind of now quoting around 1600, but I would still be confident on the stock. I've been kind of investing and holding on the stock from close to around 900. So this is definitely a stock to watch for. All right, so Jubilee Food is something which is a good return giver. So if it dips down in the coming few days, you should definitely look at buying Jubilee Food. One of the stocks which you can definitely offload, which is on my list, which is probably priority one, is UPL. I know, I remember I gave a buy call on UPL because there was a lot of market news that it was expected to post double-digit profits, but unfortunately, they have not done great, and it seems like there was a big U-turn. As my good friend Atit says, he loves U-turn trade, so I keep remembering him whenever I say U-turn. And I think it is one of those kind of stocks which might probably break. So if it's gonna break a few days low, this stock might be something which might become a great shorting opportunity. So if you have bought this couple of weeks back when I suggested that UPL is a great buy, or maybe about 3 weeks back when I made my weekly street talk video, if you went ahead and bought UPL, I think it's time you can look at exiting this counter, and maybe you might get it for a cheaper price if you still want to continue investing. I have not looked at the balance sheet in detail, but a 72% reduction, I'm sure it's gonna fall. So margins are quite squeezed, profit is significantly reduced down, which is not sounding great for UPL. So I would suggest you to look at UPL counter as an exit. What else is happening in the market? There are quite a few stocks which might move. We were discussing about Polyplex. It seems to be doing pretty good, and for people who are trading CNC, Polyplex might be a stock which you can look at. We have seen Tata Global Beverages making some significant move, saw some 7 to 15% kind of a move in the last week. So that might become a good stock for you to look at as well. And given that the entire market is on an up move, and quite a few stocks which have done really well, some of the stocks which might continue moving, which is there on my list, is also Bajaj Finserv and Bajaj Finance. Again, fantastic results. I think Bajaj Finance made quite a bit of movement on Friday. It might continue giving rally with the current sentiments around the company and around the stock as well, because it is a great company, and they're posting significant results from very long period of time, and their profits have only been increasing. So it is one of those stocks which might rally a little more, or might see some profit booking. But either way, from an investor perspective, it's a great stock to look at. All right. So yeah, obviously Bajaj Finserv, Kotak is definitely on my list. And in terms of some of the stocks which have been doing really good, I'm just trying to kind of scroll my screen across and figure out what else I've noted down from a stock perspective, in terms of what could be a probable good buy and what could be a probable exit at this point in time. So from pure investment perspective, I've given you a few stocks. From technical view as well, I think some of the stocks like Britannia, I almost forgot about Britannia. Britannia is a stock which I was doing some analysis, and in fact I gave it as a good call for people to invest, because it seemed to be kind of reversing. It had fallen down significantly, and I saw it kind of falling down. And post that, I was waiting to see if it's going to take some support at a certain point in time and move back up. And Friday has given some glimmer of hope. So if it retraces and takes support at a certain price point, this might become a great stock to watch as well. All right, so continue to watch Britannia Industries. It could be a good reversal story and might be a significant movement which is coming in the near future. So that's a great probability we have. Apart from that, I thought on the weekly street talk this time I will cover the commodities sector as well. Crude oil is probably gonna make a significant high technically, as well as the news around crude oil is suggesting that there is an up move. All right. I hope this exit poll preview and a street talk combined video is going to make a good difference for all of you from your stock picking for the coming week. We'll try to make more videos on my stock watch or watch list, because it takes a lot of time to get these videos up, get the editing done, and post them up. And there's so much I want to do and so less time, but we'll definitely try to add value. All right. Take care, guys. Have a wonderful weekend, and see you again. Bye.